Urban Authority, which is based about 25 miles just downriver from here. It comprises the three main towns of Port Glasgow, Greenock and Gourock, and we have about 39,000 houses, of which 10,000 are social rented following the stock transfer that was undertaken in 2007. After stock transfer, we've been left with a strategic housing team, of which I'm one of the four people who make that up. So we've limited resources, and that's one of the reasons that we've undertaken a sort of partnering arrangement to take forward an empty homes initiative, or a pilot empty homes initiative. Tackling empty homes is something that we've included in our local housing strategy. The outcome is to bring empty homes back into use. We also have another outcome that kind of relates to that, about tackling below tolerable standard properties. We have an existing homelessness lead tenancy scheme, which is delivered in partnership between our homelessness service and the local RSL Oak Tree Housing Association, and they're a locally based housing association with a stock of about 1,500 units. We chose Oak Tree to partner with our empty homes pilot because they had the knowledge and expertise in delivering the lead tenancy scheme, where they took on the tenancy of RSL stock and worked with the homelessness team to allocate that. So the first step that we undertook was to identify empty homes in Inverclyde. From that we used council tax records, environmental health records and public complaints and inquiries, which includes public inquiries through the Report Empty Homes website. From those we identified 530 empty and second homes, of which 225 were empty homes. And from those 225 we began to identify the types of property that we would like in our empty homes pilot. Really what we're doing is cherry picking, I'll be clear on that. We look primarily for flats in wholly privately owned properties. We look for 2 and 3 bedroom flats to match demand, and the old adage of location was important as well. Not because we were choosing particular areas, it's more that we were avoiding particular areas, because in Inverclyde we've got quite an extensive sort of neighbourhood regeneration programme ongoing that stretches across the three main towns. So we weren't wanting to get involved in areas where there was demolition was going to happen in the next year or so. So from the initial 225, we identified about 130 properties that were potentially suitable for a pilot. So we prepared a questionnaire using some of the examples that are in the online resource centre, and prepared the questionnaire. We sent that out and we got a response rate of about 30%, which is about 40 interested parties. We wrote to those 40 with a bit more further information on how the scheme would work, and we also included a frequently asked questions sort of information part to the letter as well. And I believe you've all got a copy of that in your handouts today. 30% of those owners, about 12, were keen to participate. So others were kind of having it on, but we got a dozen that were very keen in participating. So for the pilot scheme, we went with those 12. We managed to secure £30,000 of grant funding from the council, with a view to using it to provide repair grants to bring any properties up to a lettable standard. And for the forthcoming year we've secured a further £80,000. Now that's not income from any council tax discount scheme. We are going to change ours from 50% discount up to just a 10% discount, or down to just a 10% discount. The sum matches, but it's not a direct relationship. But for our pilot scheme, we're very much taking a soft kind of invitational approach. In the future, we may take on a more aggressive approach. So we've got 12 properties. Majority of them are flats with one house, 2 and 3 bedrooms, and they're spread in the town centre locations of Greenock and Gourock. A conditional repair grant will be made available to owners on an individual basis. They'll be assessed individually, and the properties will be let on a short assured tenancy they'll be managed by the local RSL Oaktree Housing Association, and there'll be a minimum 2-year agreement. Although we would, where we are providing grant assistance to carry out works on the property, we would expect the length of the agreement to extend accordingly. We use the local housing allowance rental rates. There will be a management fee deducted from that, and there'll be an agreed repairs fee structure, which is based on the RSL's current contract rates for repairs of their own stock. And the residual rent will be paid quarterly to the owners, and the owner will be responsible for maintaining their building insurance. So we're really just on the tipping edge of speaking to owners, getting out and assessing properties, and getting the pilot scheme started. Will it be successful? We think it will be successful, despite being sort of almost in direct competition with private sector letting agents. We operate similar fees. It could be argued that the owner would receive a higher income by going with a private letting agent. However, we're confident that we can offer an improved service, and it's delivered through a trusted brand, through a local housing association who are well established and well known. And we believe that using that trusted brand will provide reassurance to the owners who up to date have empty properties but haven't chosen to engage with private sector letting agents. So we believe that it can be successful. So for us, the next steps, we're almost about delivering the pilot scheme. After that, we plan to expand the scheme to include the other sort of 220 odd units that we know are out there, and there's probably quite a lot more units. That's just 220 that we know about, that mainly through receiving council tax discount. We will continue to deliver in an RSL partnership with Oaktree Housing Association. The pilot, as I mentioned, we've taken a kind of soft invitational approach, but the next sort of phase might be slightly more aggressive. But what we'll be able to do as well is point out the successes of the pilot scheme, so we've got some real world evidence, and we can maybe get some owners and some tenants on board, and get them helping us to promote it. So we've prioritised an expanded scheme within our strategic housing investment programme. We're hoping to secure funding through the Affordable Housing Supply Programme to allow us to bring 100 units on board to the next phase of the scheme in 2012-13. And we're planning that in year one of our 3-year strategic housing investment plan. If we were unsuccessful in securing the funding, we would continue with our scheme, albeit on a much smaller scale, just simply using the council's funding. In future, delivery of our Empty Homes initiative will be through our one-stop shop. That's currently being developed in partnership with all local RSLs, being led by Oaktree Housing Association and our homelessness service. And it's really about having a one point of access for all housing advice in Inverclyde, and we see Empty Homes being delivered through that as well. We're keen to promote and share good practice, and that's one of the reasons I'm here today as well, to tell you what we're doing and also to find out what everyone else is doing. And we'll continue to work with Kristen and the Empty Homes network's been quite a good help in progressing things today. So that seemed very quick. It was a lot slower when I was practicing it. If you've got any questions, hopefully that's brought us back up to speed. But any questions? No? Good, right. Okay.
Two questions. One is, we might ask 2 questions, of course, they're quite separate. One is, did it help when it stopped Transport Housing Authority in the sense that didn't have that weight of having to manage your housing stock to focus on that? So that was the first question. Second thing is, obviously the housing association has got a major role here. I think I wouldn't be giving away any secrets if I said that it's not easy to get housing associations interested in Empty Homes work in Scotland so far. There's 1 or 2 really good examples, but it's been quite difficult. I'm interested in and how quickly, how readily the housing association saw an opportunity here, and whether you think other housing associations should be picking up.
I'll take the second question first. We had no problems with getting a housing association on board. We had a chat with their director. He was up for it. He allocated some staff time, and he himself has been directly involved in progress in this. So yeah, we don't have any issues. The RSL that we are partnering with, Oaktree, they're currently merging with another local housing association. So that's caused a wee delay in delivering the pilot, because our focus is on something else just in the short term. But looking forward, what he's done is he's allocated a staff member from the other RSL to work on this. Not full time, but a fair portion of our time. So they are committing the resources, and they're fully committed to it, and we've not had any problems in that respect. In terms of being a stock transfer local authority, yes and no. Yes, we don't have that problem of managing our own stock and trying to, but we only have a 4-person strategic housing team after stock transfer, so we don't have the staff resources to be fully dedicated. So we have to partner with an RSL. So it has its benefits, but there's a slight downside to it as well. Okay.
Can I just ask, how are Oaktree's plan to allocate the properties? Is it just off the list, or is it a separate list that's running the...
It's a separate list that they have of people who've expressed their interest in sort of private sector properties or properties in areas where Oaktree don't have stock, and that's why we targeted particular areas or avoided other areas. In the areas where we've got these 12 properties, it's like town centre, slightly west of the town centre, where Oaktree don't have many properties, more of a private sector.
So they just manage it as their stock?
Yes, they'll manage it in line with all their other stock, although they do have to set up a subsidiary company to offer a short assured tenancy, because they can't obviously offer a secure tenancy in these properties. Yeah, and they're happy to do that, and that's what they're currently progressing with their legal advisors, setting up a subsidiary company, and we already have a sort of good practice short assured tenancy that we'll use as well. But it'll fit right in with our existing stock management plans.
What about rents? How are the rents?
We're using the local housing allowance rates for 1, 2 and 3 bedroom flats, and there'll be a deduction of a management fee, and there'll be an agreed structure for repairs. The repairs bit we don't see being hugely detrimental to the rent, because it would be individual ad hoc repairs, because we're providing we're going to survey the properties prior to letting them and do any repairs so that they're of a lettable standard. So we see any repairs just being minor ad hoc stuff, and what we hope owners will agree to is a limit of maybe £200 to £250, whereby if it doesn't go over that limit, the housing association can just proceed without having to advise the owner. Any major repairs we would obviously tell the owner so they were aware.
So that's not their responsibility. Like, what's the break-up between what's the owner's responsibility and what's the tenant's responsibility?
Well, that would be set out just in the short assured tenancy, just the same as it is under the sort of private rented sector repairing standard. There's certain things that would be RSLs. There'd be no really any difference with that.
Have you had any feedback from private landlords with proposals about, maybe negative comments about the council?
We haven't yet, but we're anticipating that. Along the lines of you're stealing our tenants or our income. That's something that we get from landlords in another area where we're undertaking regeneration. So we're anticipating that. I think because it's so small just now and it's not widely known, we haven't had those sorts of responses, but we expect to get them. But it's another way of us meeting affordable housing targets and bringing homes back into use. And really, the response I would like to give to them would be, there's a reason why these people haven't gone to you. It's up to them to figure out what the reason is, but there is a reason, that they're coming to us, a sort of trusted brand. We believe a trusted brand.
Any other questions for William? Okay, can we give a